If you've ever felt lost, confused, or like you don't belong, this story might just be for you. There was once a shepherd who took his flock of sheep to graze in the forest every day. One afternoon, as the sheep were happily munching on the grass, he heard a strange sound coming from behind a tree. Curious, he walked over and saw something that made him gasp. It was a lion cub, no bigger than a house cat, sitting all alone. It must have been separated from its mother just a few days prior, too scared or too weak to make much noise. Seeing this tiny creature all alone broke the shepherd's heart. He knew if he left it there, it would either starve or become prey to other wild animals. So, without hesitation, he scooped it up and rushed home. At first, the sheep in the pen weren't too happy about the new arrival. They bleated loudly, shoving and pushing to get away from the strange and scary kitty cat. The little lion cub, though, didn't seem to mind. It curled up in a corner and fell fast asleep, dreaming perhaps of warmer days with its mother. The shepherd watched over it, making sure it was okay. And as days passed, something unexpected began to happen. The sheep slowly stopped panicking and started getting used to the idea of having a lion around. As for the little lion cub, it grew bigger and stronger. It wrestled and played with the sheep, even learning to speak their language. Bah! It would say playfully, which always made the shepherd laugh. As seasons went by, the lion grew into an enormous beast, but it still hung out with the sheep. Years flew by like birds on the wind, and before the shepherd knew it, the lion was all grown up. It spent its days frolicking with the sheep, its nights sleeping beside them, and its whole life pretending to be just another woolly member of the flock. Now, this may seem like a perfectly happy tale of a lion living a peaceful life with sheep, but there was a twist waiting just around the bend. One sunny morning, while the sheep were peacefully chewing their cud, a huge shadow swept across the field. They all looked up and gasped. Standing before them was the biggest, meanest-looking lion they'd ever seen. Its fur was the color of burnt umber, its teeth were like daggers, and its eyes burned like hot coals. This was no ordinary lion. It was fierce and strong, a true king of the jungle. Without warning, the big lion roared, shaking the ground beneath their feet. Then it said, in a voice like rolling thunder, "Where is he? I want to speak with him." When the sheep heard this, they scattered in all directions. Only the big lion stayed put, staring at the place where the lion had been just a moment before. It paced back and forth, confused, not understanding where the lion had gone. Suddenly, it spotted the shepherd. Perhaps he knows, the lion thought. So, it approached the old man and asked, "Have you seen a lion around these parts?" "A very big lion, strong and brave, perhaps." The shepherd, though, hadn't noticed the big lion when it first arrived. He'd been busy talking to a visitor. "A big lion!" he repeated, thinking hard. "Well, now that you mention it, yes, I believe I do know a lion. Come with me." And the shepherd led the lion to the pen where the big lion lived with the sheep. The massive beast stood there, frozen in shock. It couldn't believe what it was seeing. In front of it stood a lion, its own kin, a being just like itself, yet so different. Both lions stared at each other, each trying to figure out who the other was and why it had come. The shepherd, noticing their surprise, chuckled and said, "I believe you two must know each other. Perhaps you were once together long ago." At first, the big lion just shook its head in disbelief. But then, something changed in its eyes. It took a step forward and said, "I remember now. I remember you. We were cubs together, playing and hunting side by side." The two lions embraced, overjoyed to find a piece of their past. And as they reminisced about their youth, the shepherd couldn't help but smile. Suddenly, the big lion stepped back and looked at the other lion. Then it said, "Why haven't you come back to the wild with me? Why have you been living with these silly sheep all this time?" The lion, who had grown up with the sheep, lowered its head in shame. "I wanted to escape the pain of the wild," it confessed. "Living with the sheep was easier, even if it meant forgetting who I really am." The big lion nodded, understanding its friend's reasons. But it also knew that living like this wasn't right. It wasn't true to the nature of the lion. "Come with me!" it urged. "We can live in the wild. We'll hunt together and be free." But the lion who had lived with the sheep shook its head sadly. "No, I can't go with you. I've forgotten how to be a lion. I've become a sheep!" The big lion was taken aback by this. It couldn't imagine why a lion would willingly choose to be like a sheep, but then it saw the love and respect in the eyes of the shepherd and the other sheep. They loved this lion, not because it was a wild animal, but because it was kind, gentle, and loyal. For the first time, the big lion understood that sometimes the most difficult path isn't always the best one. Sometimes you have to accept things as they are and let go of your desire to change them. It bid farewell to its friend and returned to the wild. And from that day on, whenever it felt lonely or misunderstood, it remembered the words of the wise shepherd. Sometimes the most difficult path isn't always the best one. Sometimes you have to accept things as they are and let go of your desire to change them. These words became a guiding light for the big lion, helping it navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and understanding. So, my friends, as we end this tale, let us remember that sometimes the greatest strength comes not from chasing our wildest dreams, but from embracing the reality that surrounds us. Let us learn to appreciate the beauty of simplicity and the power of accepting things as they are. Just as the shepherd and the lion found peace in their differences, we, too, can find harmony in the tapestry of life, celebrating both the wild adventures and the quiet moments of acceptance. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the enchanting world of stories. If you've enjoyed this tale and want more, please don't forget to stay tuned for more updates. And if you have a story you'd like to share, we'd love to hear it in the comments below. Until next time, keep reading, keep dreaming, and always remember the magic lies within you.